them, you are imaginative but not creative. Actually, creativity has two components. We have cognitive creativity and we have the artistic creativity. Cognitive creativity is has something to do with the thinking, like what Naiman mentioned a while back. Um, she mentioned thinking. Okay, so that is the cognitive creativity, and then producing. That is the artistic creativity part. And just like what I've mentioned a while back to the focus of my study for today, I am a kind of person who focus on innovation. And actually, the MC a while back mentioned that I am a writer of Project Rise. It is a continuous improvement project of DepEd. I am one of the writers. I have written two CIP already. And not to mention, I have other product of innovation already just because of creativity and artistic literacy. So I promise to you, my example is really for innovation, and I know you can apply this for your future career. All right. Let's give another definition. According to Ken Robinson, creativity is about working in a highly focused way on ideas and projects, crafting them into their best forms and making critical judgments along the way. Actually, creativity has begun way back the Renaissance period. The English word for creativity comes from the Latin word creare, which means to create or to make. Actually, by simply doing something, you are creative. Okay? If you have a product like a story, a literature, if you have a product like sculpture, painting, if you have composed a song, you are creative. But like what I mentioned a while back, there are two components. The first one is the cognitive, is the one that you are thinking and planning to your mind what you are going to do. And when you do that thing, put it into intangible things. It must be it must be artistic. So we can say that you have creativity if you come out with a unique output or tangible things that you can present to other people. That is useful somehow and as well. All right. Let's proceed. So now let's proceed with the definition of what is creative literacy. According to Resho, creative literacy is a concept that looks beyond holistic sitting with a book. It is a holistic approach in that it incorporates activities that can strengthen reading skills but more focused on broader learning. Let me give an example of creative literacy. Actually, creative literacy started when we were young, even in the inside the womb of our mother. According to Noam Chomsky, we have the language acquisition device, and learning starts there. So that's why when we came out, we have already available knowledge and actions that we can create so that our parents can reply to us immediately. Like for example, observe a baby. So a baby when it is hungry, when he is hungry, it will cry, right? He will cry, and that sounds is already a creation already and a product of language acquisition device. Okay, we are talking about the creation at that moment, and that simply asks the parents to give some milk so the baby will stop cry. And actually, another example, if you give a toddler, a child, a crayon, it could already apply creative literacy. So when you give a crayon to a child or a toddler, they will start to draw lines, and that lines has meaning. Okay, that lines have meaning rather. All right, and it can be whatever they observe from their environment. For example, based on my experience, I gave my my nephew a crayon. Actually, I tried this, the example of creative literacy to my my nephew. I gave him a crayon, and he started to draw objects, like for example, a ball. And later on, you cannot tell that what they drew can be an inspiration um, for more unique and creative object. So that is an example and of creative literacy, and that's explain how does creative literacy starts. All right, so it starts there. Another example is that when we give our young ones a song, right? Particularly rhyming ones. If we ask our toddler to watch for example, an alphabet song or a video about counting numbers 1 to 10. Later on, after they watch it or after multiple times, after 2 to 3 times of watching the video, you can see them singing the song of the alphabet or counting numbers 1 to 10 already. So how does it happen? It happens because a person applied creative literacy to the video that someone asked a child to watch. All right, let's proceed. And how about artistic literacy? We've mentioned a while back that creativity has two components. The cognitive literacy has something to do with the thinking process. The artistic creativity, which is the art of putting objects artistically into a tangible ones. So here is the definition of artistic literacy. According to the National Coalition for Co-Art Standards, or NCCAS, this was cited by Resho. I would like just to bring this to you. She's an educator also. Artistic literacy is defined as the ability to understand and contribute to the broad milieu of art-related subjects, including visual arts, theater arts, musical arts, and dance. So now we're talking about artistic literacy. Aside from creative literacy, which actually something that we need to be literate with on how to be creative. It is an act of creating something that is uniquely and effectively used someday. Okay, and while artistic literacy has something to do with visual arts, theater arts, and dance. So a person must be literate with arts. That's why we call this artistic literacy. You can ask me, sir, I'm not good in dancing. You can be good in theater arts. You can be good in musical arts, in visual arts. There are so many forms of arts, right? So you can cook. There's arts there. In our courses offered by PUP, if you're a student from HRM, Hotel and Restaurant Management, you can be creative. You can be artistic because you're going to create new recipes. So there is artistic literacy can be applied there. Okay, you are a teacher, a future educator. You know, I am a former member of PUPAC. It is a performing arts club at PUP SMB, and we used to dance there. And that dancing skills I learned from PUP SMB was very effective in my teaching career. Because you know what? We need to have a lot of body movements. We need to be artistic, and it is a must for future educators, right? And for civil engineering students, for accountancy students, for CEM or entrepreneurial management student, artistic literacy and creative literacy is actually a must, because like what I have like what I am doing right now at Santa Cruz High School, I focus on innovation. And there must be an innovation. I forgot to mention information technology at PUP. It is also offered at PUP SMB. You know, you can always apply innovation, and you can do innovation by studying creative literacy and artistic literacy. Actually, creative literacy is a human rights. So what is our evidence about that? So according to United Nations Human Rights, on Article 27, right to cultural, artistic, and scientific life. Article 27 says, everyone has the right to freely participate in the cultural life of the community, to share scientific advances and its benefits, and to get credit for their own work. This article firmly incorporates cultural rights as human rights for all. They relate to the pursuit of knowledge and understanding and to creative purposes, responses rather, to a constantly changing world. You know, we need we need creative literacy and artistic literacy in the form of innovation because our world is constantly changing. You know that. So we cannot stick from what is being proposed by early theorists, early ideas, because things change from time to time. So we need innovation, and we cannot do innovation if we are not creative and we are not artistic. Let me continue. A prerequisite for implementing Article 27 is ensuring the necessary condition for everyone to continuously engage in a critical thinking and to have the opportunity to interrogate, investigate, and to contribute ideas regardless of frontier. So this is what I am talking about, my dear participant. So what is meant by artistic literacy and creative literacy? It is actually for you to know that you can interrogate to whatever has been served to your table. You can investigate the ongoing, if you are in the educational institution, you can investigate the ongoing curriculum. So that and that thing will be one of my example, because I supplement something in the curriculum of reading and writing skills. It is a subject in the senior high school. A part of my examples later, I will show that to you. And contribute ideas. You know, the CIP mentioned by your Master of Ceremony, by Miss Salmeron and Miss Mendoza. It is one of the contribution I have made in this in my school. So the CIP, the Continuous Improvement Project. So let me mention another quotation by Ken Robinson. Creativity is not an option, it's an absolute necessity. Therefore, we must find ways to bring creativity into learning. But first, we have to understand what condition foster through creativity or the process of having original ideas that have value. Okay, before I proceed, may I have a feedback to my participant if you can still hear me? Can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, all right. Thank you very much. So now I am done with explaining what is the meaning of creativity and artistic literacy. So just to add with the definition of artistic and creative literacy, I think I've mentioned it already. So do you have any questions about the definition of artistic and creative literacy? Any question? You can ask me right now because I will be going to proceed to another phase of my discussion. So actually the flow of my discussion is the principles of artistic creativity and the creative literacy, artistic literacy and creative literacy. And now for the next part of my discussion, I'll be going to present example of the product of artistic literacy, because the title of the topic given to me is reveal the inner abstract. So I